having discussed the plans of the decision making, we are going to discuss some of the important characteristics of the decision making. You can see here one thing which is visible, which can tell us more about the characteristics of decision making. You can say that these characteristics are more than one. First of all, selective, then dynamic, then cognitive, then positive or negative, then evaluative, and finally ongoing process. I will tell you these one by one to make the entire concept of decision making simple and easy for everyone listening to this lecture. Selective. The first characteristic of the decision making process is it is selective by nature. It involves a selective process where the most advantageous alternative is chosen from various options. In our day-to-day life also, we come across such kind of situations where we have to take a decision to select a particular alternative after a comprehensive evaluation against established objectives. This is the basic process. Everyone with sensible mind will be selective in every walk of life. So in case of the decision-making process too. Then comes the dynamic. Another characteristic of another feature of the decision-making act, it is a dynamic process. Why we call it a dynamic process? Because it is a dynamic undertaking you can say since a specific problem may yield different solutions based on prevailing time and circumstances. It is a dynamic undertaking. It is another category of another type of characteristic of the decision making is it is cognitive. Decision making is a cognitive process. I hope you understand all very well what is meant by the cognitive process. Because it incorporates intellectual abilities such as analysis, knowledge, experience, awareness, and foresightedness. That's why we call it as cognitive. It is cognitive. After knowing that it is cognitive in nature, it is a cognitive process, we look at the remaining characteristics of the decision making. Here we find that two words are there which have been mentioned clearly, that is the positive or negative. We should understand one thing in the beginning, that decisions can either be taken positive or negative. Two types of decisions cannot go together. Despite a thorough analysis, a decision may sometimes result in unfavorable outcome. It is also said that the decision making is an infinite activity. It is a continuous activity in an organization. And it is done at various levels of management where daily decisions to align with organizational objectives and ensuring its perpetual succession. A business is a perpetual succession. Business is not established for 1 or 2 days. It lasts longer in its production process. Then comes the decision-making process. That is about the evaluative. The important feature of decision-making is that it is evaluative. It is one of the important reasons that because it includes the critical appraisal of potential alternatives through rigorous evaluation methods. So that's why we can say that some kind of evaluation is being done. That's why it is one of the features one of the characteristics of decision making, that it is evaluative by nature. Dear students, after discussing the characteristics of decision making, now we are going to focus on a very significant part of the decision making process, that is its significance itself. You can see that the decision making is a very significant process because it involves a number of things into it. We find that it requires, or it is about a few things which are closely related with this. For example, clarity, risk mitigation, efficiency, accountability, and learning and empowerment. I will now throw some light on all these 5 aspects of significance of the decision making process. These 5 points will clarify you that decision making process is very important process, very significant process for every business. The success of every business to a very large extent depends upon the decision making process. First of all, clarity. What is clarity? Which clarity we are talking about? I want to tell you here one thing, that the decision making process ensures a clear comprehension of available choices and also their consequences, minimizing confusion and facilitating prompt and resolute actions. We find that things become clear. There is clarity. So it is a decision making process. Decision making makes things clear, easy, understandable. There will be no haze. There will be no confusion in the business organization. Another important point which we can say about the significance of decision making is the risk mitigation. The decision making process entails a thorough analysis of potential risk. I tell you one thing here, that the risk and rewards go hand in hand in every business. These risk and rewards enable the well-informed choices that mitigate adverse outcome and maximize the benefits. Then, efficiency. Needless to say that by adhering to a structured method, the decision-making process simplifies the assessment and selection of alternatives very easily. It results into swifter and more effective decision-making process. Because when things are being done in a systematic way, proper procedure is being followed, and we are adhering to the structured method. We are not deviating from the existing structured method. So there is no point of thinking that efficiency will not be there. Efficiency will exist there and there only. And the organizations will be able to prosper. The prosperity of the organization can be linked with the efficiency of the system. An efficient system will lead to the higher profitability due to higher productivity. It will be a comprehensive process. You can say that the impact of the decision making can be checked with the profitability of the organization also. The organizations will be prosperous in their dealing with their stakeholders. 2 more points are there which I want to share with you about the significance of decision-making process. One is accountability. Another one is the learning and improvement. I will now tell you these two aspects in a very simplified language. You know one thing, that if there is a well-established decision-making process in any organization, it will definitely promote accountability by making decisions, responsibilities transparent, and it will foster highlighted ownership, heightened ownership and commitment in the organization. The accountability will take things at the commanding heights of the organization. A lot of progress will be made by the organization over a shortest possible time. And also, one more thing is there that we can discuss here for decision-making process, and that is the learning and improvement. We are all human beings. We are born to learn. All the people who feel that their learning age is over will never be successful in their lives. If you think you have to be successful in this world, always treat yourself as a student. If you want to learn more and more, always feel that you are a student. So decision-making process cultivates a culture of learning and continuous enhancement. Decision-making process can glean insights from past decisions and feedback. It refines their approach for consistently improved decisions. There will be improved decision outcomes over time. If this is the tendency of the organization, if the organization will take into consideration this kind of fail, there is no doubt about it that the organization will flourish. Organization will make a lot of progress over a shortest possible time. It will capture the market because they can glean insights from the past decisions. Past decisions and feedback acts as a guidance, acts as a torch bearer for the organization to proceed the course of action, to decide about every activity happening in the organization. So, dear students, this was the idea about the significance of decision-making process. You have seen that decision-making is a process. Decision-making is a process wherein we find that the success of the organization will boom. There will be increased production and profitability if the proper decision-making process is in place in the organization. Those organizations which do not follow the proper procedure of taking decisions, they take decisions late, they fail also. What is needed? That a prompt decision is to be taken up. But that decision should not be a disaster. It should be in such a way that it is going to serve the purpose. Main motive here is to get the best out of the available options. We are going to get best only when we are aiming towards getting the best. If we ignore this part, we will not be successful in business organization. Well, after having a look at the importance of the significance of the decision-making process, dear students, now we are going to a very important part, that is the process.